Hey guys, my name is V, English content creator for KND, and this is Hello Stranger. I'm going to be chatting with many interesting foreigners who are living in Thailand to exchange cultures and see what they're all about, and hopefully we can turn a stranger into a friend. My roommate for tonight is Chloe, a French model who has been living in Thailand for many years. Despite her love for beautiful Lyon where she grew up, she left France due to differing values. She also makes content about being in a relationship with a Thai guy, and we're gonna talk about what foreign women think about Thai men when it comes to dating. We're also going to be clearing up some of the biggest myths surrounding France, like, are there actually a lot of pickpockets in Paris? Do French people actually love croissants? Why do French people like to complain but also kiss each other all the time? And also, I've just found out that gaming culture is huge among the French, and even Chloe herself is a Twitch streamer as well. So, stay tuned everyone. Hello stranger. สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Hi Chloe. So, how long have you actually been living here in Thailand?
So I've been living in Thailand about when like COVID started. So I think it was 2020 or something. And when COVID hit Thailand and the world, actually, I was like kind of stuck here in Bangkok. So I had my own place and I was like, okay, well, the airport are closed. Like I cannot really go back to my country yet. So I just decided to like start living in Thailand.
Whoa, so
for a while.
in 2020, like when you were here in Thailand, was that the first time you came here or have you come here before?
No, actually, the first time I came to Bangkok, it was in 2018. And I decided to go to Thailand because I had a model contract here. So I was sent here for work.
What was your experience like the first time you were here? Like, what did you think about Thailand? And what did you think of Thailand before you came here? Did you know much about the country?
So I really didn't know anything about Thailand. I was totally clueless. Like nobody of my friends like ever told me like, oh, you know, Thailand, it's
Really?
like this, like that. Yeah, I just heard of like some of my friends or parents of my friends who go to Thailand for trips, like holidays in the beach, stuff like that. But I didn't know about like Bangkok. Like really, it was super new to me. So I arrived with like, you know, zero expectations, nothing. And I was living near Samrong area at
It's
that
pretty
time.
far.
Yeah, it's pretty far and a little bit isolated, I think. And I was in this very small hotel and it didn't seem very like nice or safe at first. So I was a bit anxious, like, oh, is it gonna be okay? Like, are people nice here? Like, why is everything so different? So I was a bit scared.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So before that, have you ever lived in other countries before, or was Thailand your first country you've lived in, like outside of France?
No, like just before Thailand, actually, the first trip I had was to Indonesia, but it was a very short trip. But then I also went to China during my work as a model and to Malaysia.
Whoa.
And China, actually, I was there for about 1 year because I stay in Guangzhou for 6 months. And then Shenzhen for 6 months.
Whoa, so what was that like, living in China, Malaysia? Like, what are some differences living there compared to in Thailand?
So China is very different. For me, like, it felt very bustling. It's like there's people everywhere. They're always busy doing something. Then you want to like cross the street. There's like motorbike, bicycles, cars, you know, like all kind of things like too big. Like,
Even busier than in Thailand?
yeah, so
Oh.
busy. They're not so like careful as in Thailand, I think maybe. So sometimes they would just like run into you and then they don't use the, how to call it, the sound, the ring bell, like the ring on the bicycle and you're like, fuck. And then I cannot wear my earphones in China because I'm always
Whoa.
scared of having someone, you know, bumping into me.
Whoa, so you
Yeah.
actually lived in China for a whole year. Like,
Yeah.
do you have any like funny stories? And also, did you have to pick up Chinese? Like, how did you communicate?
So no, I actually didn't know Chinese at all. And the thing in China, even in big cities, they don't speak English much. So back then it was even worse, like in like 2018, 19, you know, they really didn't speak English at all. And I was like, fuck, how do I do to communicate the most like basic things? So I was using my phone to translate almost everything. But I think most of the time I was relying on my, my bookers, so the people who will hire me as a model, you know.
They
So
did most of the communications.
Yeah, I was asking them anything like, hey, how to order from this website? How to get this medicine? Like, what is this guy saying? Like, I don't understand. And I was always asking them to help me with everything. So I was very dependent.
But when you were there in China, like you couldn't see yourself like staying there long term?
I think I could see myself living there for a few years, but maybe not like the whole life. Because of the language barrier, I think I couldn't imagine myself, you know, doing a lot of things. And also it's just like so different also in terms of culture, and I couldn't really make close friends there. So it's not like they are not nice or anything, but maybe I felt more of a barrier with people
more
in
than
China.
in Thailand.
More than in Thailand.
Oh, interesting.
For sure.
So what actually was the decision that made you like want to leave France to live somewhere else?
So I always felt like I didn't really like, not that I wasn't happy, but I always wanted to go outside of my country. It's like there's a lot of aspects of France that back then I felt like I felt too different to be living there. I didn't agree with the values of the people. There was a lot of stress and pressure, especially with the school and things like that. And while like I had a really great life, like my parents, they're super loving, like I really didn't have issues. But then at school I was like kind of bullied a lot. And that made me grow up as a very like cold person and very introverted. So I was like, I just want to go live somewhere else, you know? And that stayed with me until I was 17, 18. Like I was like, I need to live somewhere else. I need to go somewhere else.
Whoa. Yeah. So even when you were young, were you doing modeling work in France?
Actually, not at all. Like I wasn't into this like at all. I was more like, so I was in the art school. So I was studying history of art. But I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Eventually, I was just attracted to like artistic things and music and fashion and stuff like that. And then I had friends who were doing photography and other kind of arts. And sometimes they asked me to help them take some photos. So I was already modeling, but like, you know, it was not like by choice, let's say. I was just helping my friends. And eventually they were like, yeah, you know, you could be a model. Like you're tall, you're slim, your face is cool, like, you know. And I was like, me, nah, like.
So how did you make that into your profession, like?
I just like I collected photos of myself from my friends that they took of me, and eventually some person on Facebook found me and said that they were a model agent.
Wow! So that's how people discover like models, just on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah, they can scout you everywhere, like on the street, online, like. And so at the time, I was like, okay, who's this guy? Like, I'm not so sure. So I actually went to visit his agency with my boyfriend at the time, my ex-boyfriend, and it was all legit and everything. And he said, you know, you will work great in Asia. So I was like, okay, whatever it is, modeling or any other kind of job, if I can leave France and go like super far and in Asia, it was like, okay, great, like I'm in.
So that's what helped you make the decision. But what was your childhood actually like? Like what city did you grow up in France and what was life like?
So I grew up in Lyon. Actually, I grew up in a smaller city next to Lyon, which is more like it's not like a village, but it's smaller city.
Lyon's famous for being very beautiful.
And Lyon is so nice, actually. Lyon is great.
What do people do like day to day?
I mean, just like normal life, like simple life, you know, wake up, take a coffee, go to work, you know, have a lunch break, and go back to work, and then it's done already, go home. I have a cigarette and a beer before I go home, you know, stuff like that.
What do you think is like a major difference of like a daily routine of a Thai person and a French person?
I think the routine is pretty similar, but French people, maybe they don't work so much. Like they're pretty lazy in general. And the most important time in the working day is after work when you meet with your friends or colleagues, you know, and then you have like a drink, like a beer or some drink, and then snacks, and then you sit, you know, like in France, they have all those bars and cafe where you face the street.
Yeah.
It's like you're sitting facing the street.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
face your friend, right? And so you just like drink and talk about life and complain and look
But
at the
look
people
outside.
walking. You know?
Oh.
Like, look at this guy.
It's like in the movies, people actually do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's so
that's like
funny.
the most important time after work. You know, chill time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And what was like your school, or do you have any siblings? Like, what did you grow up doing like in your free time?
So yeah, I have like one older sibling who's still in France and living nearby my city, and I was like, my childhood was nice because like as I said, my parents, they were super caring and I didn't miss out on anything. I had everything I wanted. Like I lived in a normal, modest, like comfortable life. But I was always going out with my friends to play games.
Really?
Yeah, I was like playing a lot of games, like video games and
So
then
gaming
online
is
games.
big in France? Gaming culture?
Yeah, gaming is quite big. Like I grew up with a community of people. They were all into gaming or maybe like anime, things like that. So yeah.
Oh, so I thought like gaming and anime and stuff like was more like Asian, but actually a lot of French people like that stuff too.
Yeah, it's super popular in France. And
Because I know that esports is huge, right? They have a lot of major teams.
Yeah, and then I was watching like YouTubers, you know, back then 10 years ago, and I still watch their videos now and how they grew up and they still play and do things like that. It's super cool.
So gaming like is still a part of your life? Do you still get to play games sometimes?
So I love gaming, but sadly, since I moved to Thailand and in general, because my life has always been a lot of traveling, I couldn't bring any like console with me you know, to play.
So what do you do?
So now it's all on computer, right? So I just like open my computer and play on Steam. So I also don't have a lot of free time like when I was younger, right? So I just try to stream more like when I play. If I play games, I do some streaming. So it's like I enjoy it, and at the same time I'm doing something for content, you know, to interact with my audience. And
Oh, so now that you're streaming, like, do you get Thai audience or international audiences?
I get more Thai audience.
Really?
I do have some friends from like the US or the UK, things like that.
And
but
where do you
a lot of
primarily
Thai people,
stream on?
I stream on Twitch mostly.
Okay. So how's that interacting with like Thai fans and Thai viewers?
It's been pretty good. Like I think like Thai fans, they're super nice. I remember this girl who made like a FC for me on
Really?
Instagram. So she called it like FC Chloe, and then she posted photos of me. And they're super nice. I also met actually people in the street who like recognized me from some videos they saw on internet or like some content, and they're like, "Oh, you're the French girl from this video." And I'm like, "Yeah, oh, so nice to see you." So
Do you try to speak Thai in your streams too?
I can speak Thai a little.
Yeah.
Like put Dining Doi. But in my stream for now, like it's mostly English because I want to, you know, talk to everyone.
For
and,
sure. And
yeah.
speaking of your parents, like you said, they were very caring, but how did they feel when you told them that you want to move and live abroad?
Yeah, so I was actually very lucky because my parents, they were always supportive. I think my mom was like, she was, I think, a bit sad that I had to leave, like because I left. Well, I actually moved from my parents when I was 17, but I moved in another city for my studies. But then I really moved to Asia when I was like 19, 20.
Whoa,
19.
still very young.
Yeah, so my mom was a bit sad, but she was very supportive. And my dad also was like, you know, if you have this opportunity, it might not happen again. So do it while you're young and just
Wow,
just
very
go.
supportive.
Yeah.
So do you still like talk to them a lot and visit them and stuff?
Yeah, so now it's my mom visiting
Really?
Thailand because she's in love with Thailand as well. So now I see my mom more often in Bangkok than I see her in
Because it's like she gets to do like a vacation too.
Yeah, exactly. She take a month off and then she comes here. My dad came here too. My brother came here too last year. So everybody's visiting Thailand. I try to see them once a year.
And now that they see like your life here in Bangkok, like what do they think?
They're so jealous. Like they want to move here, like for real, because they see how different it is. They see the practical aspects of living here, how like for example, I live in a condo, and they're like, wow, but you have a pool, you have a gym, you have the guard at the entrance, is very safe, it's very nice. Like, yeah, that's how it is here, and you pay the same price or even cheaper than an apartment in France, and it looks really like, cool, and they want the same, they want that.
Wow, that's so cool. So speaking of like what you do for a living now, are you still modeling full time? Like what do you do here now, aside of streaming too?
Yeah, so now I'm mostly a content creator, and so I do some like partnerships or work with collaborations with brands and other things. And then I do some social media marketing. So I make content, but also like plan things and do the marketing strategy for some clients, like international clients.
Oh, did you study
like
that,
that.
or did you just like pick up how to do that?
I really didn't study that at all. Like I was like into art, that's it. So I didn't study any marketing or business course.
Yeah.
But then my actual boyfriend, who's Thai, he has a marketing agency, and he also like told me a lot of things about the corporate world, and he helped me to like try it by myself. So now I kind of get it, but yeah, it's a bit still new for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it like working with Thai people? Is it challenging for you, or are you kind of used to it now?
I think it's not so challenging. First of all, when I was like working as a model in Thailand, I always felt like super comfortable with Thai people. They're so nice. They're caring. They're so pretty chill and relaxed. They're like, oh, you're late. 30 minutes is fine. Like the team maybe is more late than you,
Yeah.
So it always been like very chill, and I'm not stressed at all. I think if I was doing a similar work in France, I would be more stressed and feeling more concerned about doing a good job.
Right. And outside of like working, because you work in like the beauty industry, you have to model and do content. Like, what do you think are some major differences of the beauty standards, say in like France compared to here?
So the first thing is I noticed, for example, in all the beauty clinic ads that you have here in Thailand, because beauty clinics are huge, right? They're
huge,
everywhere, right?
Everywhere.
And like all the ads, they look the same. It's like very white girls, and they have the same features and all. And I was like, wow, like this only like single standard of beauty everywhere, And compared to France, for example, like I remember in France, so not so funny, but when I was like younger and I was bullied, right? People would bully me because my skin was so white, and they were like, "Why are you so white like this?" Because I was like whiter than white. Yeah. So when I moved here, and people were like saying good things about my looks, and they were like, "Wow, your skin is so white," and I wish I was white like you. I was like, really? Like, how can it be so different? So yeah, and what else? Same thing with like the features of the face. For example, I think here people like a small face but like a sharp nose, and in my country would be also like the opposite. It's like better to have a round face and a very small nose that you don't see much.
Like stronger features in
stronger
France?
features. Yeah. So here it's more attractive to have like a foreign, face with a big nose, stuff like that.
Right, and I think like the models look kind of older too, right? Like they're meant to look older in France. Like what is
definitely.
that?
I think it's the vibe is like, because in terms of like the standard in modeling, I think most models are between like 17, 18 and maybe 25. Like this is kind of the standard and the peak of your career, let's say. But here, even though they're young or not so young, you have to look young. Like you have to look younger than your age. But then in France, they look older than their age, kind of.
Really?
So it's also the opposite, right?
So
Yeah.
which one do you like? Do you like having to look older or younger?
I mean, I don't really mind, but I prefer to look my age, I think. Like if people look at me and they're like, "Oh, you look like you 18," I would be a bit offended because I'm not 18 anymore. But then, I think it's up to everyone's like liking, right?
Yeah. So for like a foreign model, like a European model like yourself, working here in Thailand, like how is that? Like you said, when you see like the beauty clinics, they all have the same like white Thai face with the nose and stuff. But like, what kind of work or what kind of things do brands look for like when they look for foreign models in Thailand?
I think, of course, they like beautiful girls, but they like when they have very foreign features, you know, like light blonde hair, big eyes, and they look like they don't have to look so pretty, but they need to have some, how to say, some charisma, you know, like some style. And yeah, a lot of the girls I see here who work well, they kind of have this nonchalant face, you know, like a bit
nonchalant.
like a bit like bored. Like they have some
Right,
style.
right.
They have a
They kind
style.
of look like a little bit bitchy all the time.
Yeah, they're not just pretty, beautiful. They're also a bit like, you know.
So that's the
Something like
vibe
that.
you have to give.
Yeah, yeah. I think that
interesting.
works well here.
And speaking of, right now it's like Paris Fashion Week, right? I have a friend who's like working in a hotel in Paris, and she told me that right now, like there's models staying in hotel and they're like only drinking celery juice, like.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
So like, do you think like it's even more stressful to be a model in France compared to here?
I think it depends the type of modeling you go for, because there are some brands or some work that are not so demanding. For example, if you do commercial modeling, whether in France or in Thailand, people are more open when it comes to beauty standards, and they mostly look for someone who fits their, you know, what they want. But if it's like really fashion modeling, like high fashion modeling,
Like catwalk stuff?
yeah, and you want to do the Paris Fashion Week, I think, yeah, it's very stressful, because you even though if you book the job, they can just cancel you last
Like
minute.
replace you?
Yeah, replace you, because
Really?
maybe you have some acne on your face, or you look a bit bigger, or
They
something
actually do
happened.
that?
Yeah, totally, because it's so serious, you know, like it's so serious Fashion Week that they're ready to just cancel you just before the show. And actually, this also happens to me when I was in Malaysia. I had a fashion show for Louis Vuitton, so it was not a big fashion show, like not a collection like presentation, but it was for private clients, so it was pretty big. And I went on a casting, and they give me an outfit that fit me, but it was not exactly how they wanted it to be. So they started to sew directly on the clothes, like the Louis Vuitton clothes,
Whoa.
like on my body, like they sew it. And I was like, okay, like I need to look good in this outfit, because they're not gonna, you know, like be able to sell this outfit or whatever.
Oh.
Like it's ruined.
So it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and in the end, after like 3 or 4 times of like maybe yes, maybe no, and not knowing if I'm gonna do the job or not because of the dress, you know, in the end, they were like, okay, it's good, like we're good to go. But I felt so stressed about not getting the job, you know.
Yeah, like the mental toll on that, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay, now that you've actually lived in Thailand for about 4 years now, like how much into Thai culture are you? Like, do you ever listen to Thai music or watch Thai stuff or like speak Thai?
So I can speak Thai a little,
Yeah?
and I'm actually learning Thai. So I'm making progress now. I can write.
How are you learning Thai?
So I take courses.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, in a school, and they teach me like we started how to write already. So I know like the consonants and the vowels.
Wow.
So I can almost read now, but I'm not, you know, good enough. And then I learned a lot of sentences by just hanging out with people and work and my relationships.
So you're actually surrounded by like Thai people every day.
Yeah, completely. I have more Thai friends than foreign friends currently.
Yeah, what is that like? Like making friends when you first moved here? Did you find it easier than in other countries, or what's it like now?
I think for me it was easier to get in relationships
Really?
than to get friends. Funnily, but yeah. So I think my first boyfriend was my ex-boyfriend was Thai, and he introduced me to other Thai people, and then that's how I started to make friends. But otherwise, it was a bit difficult to just like meet people, because I think they might be not so confident with the English in the beginning. So it was not easy to approach Thai people. So I would meet some people at my job or stuff like that, but I couldn't really make like real friendships, you know.
Because Thai people don't really like go up to someone to approach them and like try to make friends.
I think in France it's very normal that someone you know see you on the street and we come to you and be like, hey, what's up? Like you look cool. Like, can we be friends? But in Thailand it doesn't happen like this, right? Yeah.
So nowadays, do you have like a group of friends that you hang out with that are some of them are Thai?
Yeah, actually, one of my best friend, she's Thai, 100%. And then my boyfriend is Thai. Then we have some friends in common. Like yeah, a lot of my close friends are Thai. Yeah.
So you mentioned dating a Thai guy, and you know it's kind of a stereotype or like the reverse that is usually like the European man with a Thai woman, right? But you're a European woman with a Thai boyfriend, so you know Thai people might think that's super fascinating. But what was that like for you? Like, what do you think about Thai guys compared to other guys if you've had any experience?
So I met my ex-boyfriend, who was my first relationship with a Thai person, and in the beginning he couldn't speak English at all, and I couldn't speak Thai, right? So it was very difficult, but we kind of managed to make it happen by using the translate on the phone.
So you guys actually just talk to each other through the translator?
So we started to send text, and then eventually we had a date, and then I guess you don't need to talk too much when you're on a date. You know, you kind of like you can read body language and kind of know like if it's going well or not well.
Right.
And eventually we just started to talk more on the phone, and then he actually made a lot of efforts for me, like to learn English.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you learn Thai from that relationship too?
And yeah, I also learned a bit of Thai because back then I was living with his family. So it's like during COVID, right? I was struggling a bit financially, and then he was like, I can just have you in my home for a few months. And it became like a year, and then eventually we just lived with the family who couldn't speak English as well.
Whoa!
So the mom couldn't speak English, siblings also. So I had to learn some Thai, some Thai words.
That's really cool. Like you have to be put in that situation to be forced to like use the language, right?
No choice.
Yeah. Wow. So do you think there's anything like unique or like something about Thai guys that are different from guys from other countries?
I would say for me, everyone is different. Like I wouldn't, say all Thai people are like this or all French guys are like this. So I always met very different type of people. But if I had to say some things that I like about Thai guys is that they're very respectful and they're so pretty chill, like relaxed. Like I even, okay, you can have fights with your partner, right? Sometimes it's normal, it happens, but it would never go like over the top or it would never be super dramatic. It's always kind of like chill and we talk and then solve the problem. So I think they're very like relaxed. Actually, I think most people, they don't realize my boyfriend is Thai and they would think, oh, they're just both foreigners. And it happens sometimes when we took taxi together and they would talk in English.
Right.
And thinking my boyfriend is not Thai, like we're a couple of foreigners from, I don't know, another country, and we're just visiting. And so maybe people don't really have a hard time imagining that it's a foreign girl and the local guy,
I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think of doing in these next couple of years? Like, what do you see for yourself in the foreseeable future?
So, first of all, I'm already kind of like retired from modeling. I don't really do this so much. So I kind of want to like start the next stage of my career here. So either as like full-time content creator or maybe more like a social media marketing thing. So I'm planning to maybe work here for a company and stay in Thailand more. And then by learning Thai, so I hope that this can help me to find a normal job.
Wow, so that's actually something that you would do, like learn Thai and then find a normal job.
Totally.
Wow. And in terms of your like content direction, like is there anything you're planning on doing like this upcoming months?
I'm kind of trying to upgrade a bit my quality of content these days. So I'm like investing money and trying to make things look better. And I also want to stream more. Like sadly, I don't have so much time to stream, but I really want to make it like grow.
Build like a loyal community.
Yeah, build a community where we can not just play games, but maybe interact with each other and then talk about topics just like we're doing now, but then online, things like that. Yeah.
Wow, that's really nice. And ultimately, like, what do you dream of? What is your future goal, or what do you want to do, like, in the future?
So I never really had like a big dream or goals. Like I'm a bit like, let's say, I live day by day. You know, like of course I have like some things that I want. Like I want a house. I want to have the little garden so that my cat can, hang out there. And then I just want a comfortable life where I'm not like scared of, you know, money issues, stuff like that. But I also don't want like too much. I think just like a nice, maybe family life here.
But you
in
really could
Thailand.
see yourself staying here forever.
Yeah, completely.
Wow.
Now I want my parents to retire and come here.
Yeah?
You know, so that it's complete. Everybody's here.
Do you think it could be possible?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I
Wow.
hope so.
Okay,
I hope
that's really
so.
nice. Well, thank you so much for today นะครับขอบคุณครับ
Thank you. ขอบคุณค่ะ